As the plane touched down on a dusty Zambian airstrip, the heat pressed in thick and heavy. I was 12, tagging along on my parents' research trip. Dad chased wildlife photos. Mom studied tribal law. But I had my own goal: find the Kongamato, the winged beast locals feared and legends refused to let die. "Stay close, Ellie," Mom said. But my eyes were on the sky. After an interminable, bone-jarring jeep ride, we reached the first Kaonda village. Mud huts with thatched roofs formed a circle around a central clearing, and children my age watched us with curious eyes. I offered a wave, receiving shy ones in return. That evening, we gathered around a crackling fire as one of the village elders prepared to share stories. When Mom mentioned our interest in local legends, his expression turned grave. "You wish to hear of Kongamato?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The villagers shifted uncomfortably around us. "Yes, please," I replied eagerly, leaning forward on my log seat. The elder studied me with kind but troubled eyes. "Child, some knowledge brings only darkness. Kongamato brings fear and death to our people." Despite his warning, he shared the creature's history. Kongamato means breaker of boats. It attacks fishermen on the rivers when hungry. It has wings like the great bat, but larger than a man is tall. Its skin is red like dried blood, with no feathers. Its mouth holds many teeth, sharp as spear points. He pointed toward a dark line of trees in the distance. It dwells in the Jundu swamps. When fish grow scarce, it hunts in villages, taking those who wander too far from safety. The elder's voice dropped lower as the fire cast dancing shadows across his weathered face. "You ask for stories? I will tell you 3 that the outsiders do not believe." My grandfather's brother was the first in our family to be taken. He was a strong fisherman, known for his bravery. One evening, when the sun was setting, he stayed on the river to catch more fish for a celebration. The other fishermen called to him, saying it was dangerous to remain when darkness approached. He laughed, saying his family needed food for the feast. They found his broken canoe the next morning. Splinters of wood scattered across the riverbank. Blood stained the mud, but his body was never discovered. Above the site, strange tracks marred the soft, earth-three-toed prints no animal we know could make. The elder paused, taking a sip from his cup before continuing. 10 years ago, a young woman from our village went to collect water at dusk. She carried her baby on her back, wrapped in bright cloth. We heard her screams from the village. By the time the men reached the river, they found only her water jug and the baby's wrapping. Above them, something large moved against the darkening sky, the sound of leathery wings drowning out the mother's fading cries. The child was never found. A chill ran through me despite the warm night air. The elder leaned closer, his voice now so quiet that we all had to strain to hear. The 3rd story happened just last rainy season. A hunter from a neighboring village, who did not believe our warnings, set traps in the swamp during the forbidden time when the moon is new. He boasted that he feared no creature, real or imagined. For 3 nights, he returned successfully with his catch. On the 4th night, his companions waited at the village edge. They heard a terrible screeching from deep in the swamp, followed by a man's scream that cut off suddenly. The bravest men went searching at first light. They found his spear broken in 2 and strange marks on the trees as if something with enormous claws had gouged the bark. High in one tree was the hunter's torn shirt, snagged on a branch 30 feet above the ground. No man could have climbed so high, and no ground animal could have reached it. Only something that flies could have left it there. A heavy silence fell over our group. The flames cast long shadows, and somewhere in the distance, an animal called out, making me jump. The next morning, Dad planned to photograph the swamps, and I begged to accompany him. Mom was engaged with the village women, and after persistent pleading, Dad relented on the condition I remain by his side. The swamp held an eerie beauty. Massive trees rose from dark waters, their twisted roots like serpents. Mysterious birds called from within the dense vegetation, and insects swarmed continuously around us. "Stay on the path," Dad warned. as he set up his camera equipment. "These wetlands are treacherous." I nodded, swatting at mosquitoes. While Dad concentrated on capturing a rare bird, something unusual caught my eye at the water's edge. A footprint, unlike any I'd seen before, with 3 distinct toes and larger than my outstretched hand. "Dad," I called, but he was too absorbed in his work to hear me. I took several steps toward the strange print, forgetting my promise. As I knelt to examine it, an odd sound came from above like leather, flapping in strong wind. Looking up, I froze in terror. Perched on a branch not 20 feet away was a creature beyond nightmares. Initially resembling an enormous bat with a wingspan wider than our Jeep, closer inspection revealed something altogether different. Its skin was dark reddish-brown without feathers, exactly as described. Its elongated head featured a pointed beak filled with gleaming teeth. 2 small, glowing red eyes fixed on me, paralyzing me with fear. The Kongamato tilted its head slightly, studying me. Then, it unleashed a piercing screech that drew a scream from my own throat and sent ice through my veins. "Ellie!" Dad's panicked voice broke my trance. I turned to see him racing toward me, his camera abandoned, his attention focused solely on me rather than the threat above. The creature extended its massive wings, creating a gust that knocked me backward into the mud. As Dad reached me, the Kongamato launched from its perch and swooped directly over us. Dad threw himself protectively over me, shielding my body with his own, his back exposed to the sky as he held me tight. "Stay down," he shouted, pushing us deeper beneath a large tree root. The creature's wing beats ruffled Dad's hair as it circled above. Dad never looked up, concentrating only on keeping me safe from a danger he sensed but couldn't see. When the wing sounds finally faded, Dad's grip loosened. His hands trembled as they quickly examined me for injuries. "Are you okay? Are you hurt?" he asked breathlessly, looking at my face without scanning our surroundings. "Why did you wander off?" "I saw it, Dad," I stammered. "The Kongamato. It's real. Didn't you see it? It was right above us." Dad frowned, finally glancing at the now empty branches. "I just saw a shadow pass overhead. Probably a large bird, or bat hunting." He helped me up, still focused on me. "The stories have influenced your imagination, Ellie. When I heard your scream, nothing else mattered except reaching you. But I knew what I'd witnessed was no ordinary creature. It matched precisely what the villagers had described, a prehistoric survivor in our modern world." Upon returning to the village and sharing my experience, the elder nodded solemnly. "You are fortunate, child. Few encounter Kongamato and survive to tell of it." I didn't see anything clearly, Dad admitted, his arm around my shoulders. When Ellie screamed, everything else became background. The villagers exchanged knowing glances at his words. That night, as wind buffeted our tent, I heard flapping sounds outside. Dad insisted it was just canvas moving in the breeze, but I pulled my sleeping bag over my head nonetheless. The following day, we visited a Bandi tribe village. When Mom displayed a book containing prehistoric creature illustrations, several people pointed excitedly at the pterodactyl image, exclaiming, "Kongamato!" An elderly woman took my hand, pressing a small carved charm on a leather cord into my palm. "For protection," she explained in halting English. "You have been marked." On our last day in Zambia, I stood at the edge of the village, eyes fixed on the swamplands. Far off, something massive glided through the sky, its wings wide, its flight eerily smooth. Dad thought the trip was about snapping photos and logging local legends. Mom believed it was about studying belief systems. But I knew better. Kongamato wasn't just a myth meant to scare people away from the marsh. Back home, in the quiet of my room, I sometimes hear the soft beat of leathery wings in the dark. The charm the Bandi woman gave me still hangs by my window. When friends ask, I talk about the food, the people, the laughter, but I never mention the creature with crimson skin and needle-like teeth. Some truths, like the villagers know, are safer left unspoken,